Hey, welcome to day 13. I am so excited to talk to you today and let you know that we have 5,000 subscribers to this channel. This is only our 13th day. We're picking up quite a few new people every day, and I want to thank you for joining. I want to recommend, if you're just joining for the first time today, to go back to day one and kind of watch the videos through. They're not that long. Some are just 9 minutes. Others are a maximum of 20. It won't take long to get through all the days if you start at day one. But as a group here, we're progressively going through a chain of activities that are going to create amazing success in your life. We started out for the first week taking some interesting new steps that people were beginning to see some incredible changes right off the bat. And now we're just kind of working through some additional topics that are very important for successful people to consider. Thank you for joining me today. Folks have reached out and asked me about habits. They said, Doug, I've got some habits that I want to break. What are your thoughts around habits? I know all about habits. I used to be a cigarette smoker. It's kind of funny. I wasn't supposed to live past the age of 30 due to all of my brain damage and all of my internal injuries. From my car accident. I wasn't supposed to live past the age of 30. When I turned about 20, somebody introduced me to cigarettes, and it was right when I went to college, and I thought I was cool, and they smoked, and I was playing follow the follower. And so I smoked too. I started smoking, and it's a habit that I've broken, but it was tough. It was a tough habit. And I used the goal card to quit. I am so happy and grateful now that I no longer smoke cigarettes. And I'd read that over 20 or 30 times before I'd light up a cigarette. And as time went on, things changed up here in my supercomputer. And I'm not going to do this anymore, and I quit smoking cigarettes. You can use the goal card for virtually anything at all. I'm not a drug or alcohol counselor, so I think we also need to get professional help when we're suffering from some, something a little bit greater in our lives as it relates to drug and alcohol addiction. Sometimes we need professional help for that, and I would recommend that you reach out to a qualified professional and talk with them about what would be best for you. But for cigarettes, I used the goal card. That worked for me. And as I was doing all these things in my life and making all these changes, getting rid of cigarettes was one of them. I used the goal card over and over again. By the time I got through college, I'm like, hey, this thing works. This is fantastic. This is the secret key. And oh wow, it's made such a difference in my life, and I'm glad to share it with you now. So use the goal card as much as you can. You can use it for anything. Remember, we only use the goal card for one thing at a time. So if you're going to use it for quitting smoking, use it for that. Once cigarettes are out of your life, then use it for the next thing, whether that be a new house, a really cool car, a new job, you want to be an entrepreneur and start a business, whatever you need to change the programming for. Up here in your supercomputer, we use the goal card for. And remember, we read that card at night before we go to bed, when we wake up in the morning. Anytime somebody approaches us with a negative circumstance or a negative situation comes our way, we, in the most polite and kindest way possible, excuse ourselves from that environment, go walk away, take a few deep breaths, then we read our goal card as many times as we can until we're ready to go back and re-engage and help somebody out or get that work done we were asked to do. And we're just going to do the best job we can because we've changed the programming up here. We've stepped away from the circumstance. We're calmer. We're better prepared to engage. And that goal card's going to make all the difference for us. So as far as habits go, in our modern world, we have a lot of things we're dealing with, right? Technology has been a big game changer for humanity as a whole, but it's brought some some new habits and some changes in behaviors. One old behavior that hasn't gone away and isn't as a result of technology isn't the old human habit of comparison, right? Comparing ourselves to others. It's just one of the most common habits that many of us fall into. I mean, when you compare yourselves to others, it can lead to feelings of inadequacy, low self-esteem, self-doubt. So instead of comparing ourselves to others, we need to focus on our individual strengths. So when we see somebody that we admire, it's okay to admire them, but when we start comparing ourselves to others and feeling inadequate, we step away from the situation, take a couple of deep breaths, and we start thinking about that goal card, our goal. Read our goal, and if you don't have the goal card with you, focus on your own independent strengths and abilities, because you're unique. You have amazing abilities. You can do incredible things. I believe in you, and I think that comparison to other people is a big waste of time. So leave it aside. If you find yourself comparing yourself to somebody else, we don't suppress, we replace. Get your goal card out. Read your goal. Remind yourself what you're doing right now. We have no time to compare ourselves to other people. We're too busy achieving our goals and bringing big things into our lives, right? So we're not going to have any time for that. We are going to leave that crap aside, and we're not going to compare ourselves to others, okay? So I think I've given you some good information there, some good ideas around what you can do to avoid that circumstance or get yourself out of it if you find yourself in it. As a handicapped man, I compare myself to able-bodied people all the time, and I'm like, I think one of the big things when I became a father, and I can't really use my left arm for much, I would, how am I, those people are much better parents because they can play catch with their kids, and they can go out and run around and throw the frisbee, and they can take their kids to sports, and they can be an involved coach, and and things like that I used to compare myself to other men and other people and think, wow, they're better parents than me because they can do all these things that I don't physically have the ability to do. And you know what? I left that crap aside and I started thinking about all the things I do offer my kids. I offer them a fantastic home to live in, a supportive environment, tons upon tons of love. And all the good things that kids really need. All these other things are extracurricular. So when I started focusing on that, it was a game changer for me. I'm sure you have similar or other circumstances in your life where you find yourself comparing yourself to others. You know what? Leave that aside. Start thinking about all the great things you're bringing into other people's lives. Think about all the great things you're doing by watching this video right now. You're doing great things for yourself because you're preparing yourself to make some incredible changes and do some amazing things. I believe in you. You can do it. So let's leave comparison aside. I think one of the things another habit that we're attempting to avoid at this point in time by working together is the comfort zone. Getting into a comfort zone, or what I call it, a rut, is, it's a safe rut and it's a comfortable rut, but you don't get your goals, you don't get new, bigger and better things by getting into a comfort zone. It's you get the same results you've always gotten because you're doing the same things over and over and over again. So the comfort zone, I think we understand that. You're getting out of a comfort zone, you're stretching, you've got a goal card, you're reaching for something you don't have in your life right now, but you want to have and you're gonna have. But a comfort zone is a really negative, nasty habit that I just don't like. I think you need to take risks, try new things, shoot for the stars, or you'll never find yourself among them. That's what you got to do. Aim big. And it doesn't matter where you are now in your life, what you have, what you don't have, what your past was, what you think your future can be. If you want it, start focusing on it, create a goal card, and get moving towards it. I know you can have it. But the comfort zone, in my opinion, is just a bad habit that we need to break. And you're doing it right now by listening to this and creating your goal card and focusing on what you want in life. So congratulations on breaking that habit. The next habit that I think people suffer from pretty regularly is my least favorite habit. I do not tolerate this in my house. I do not tolerate this in my life. I do not tolerate this in my friends or in anybody I know, and that is quitting. Quitting, you want predictable results in your life? Quit. Because when you quit, guess what you get? Zilch. Nothing. And we don't quit ever. And I'm not, that's it. That's all I got to say about that. Quitting is easy. It destroys dreams. It destroys goals. Whenever we encounter challenges or obstacles, the easiest thing to do is just give up. But we have persistence. We have determination. And we are working towards success. You're using that goal card. We're never going to quit. I'm not going to quit until I have everything I want, and I'm working towards it. I'll get there until the day I die. I'm going to be working on goals. It's going to keep me alive for a long time, and it's going to keep me happy and healthy because it gives me something to get up for in the morning, and it gives me something to dream about at night. And I tell you what, we don't quit. So I don't tolerate quitting. I don't talk with people about quitting. Quitting is easy. It's a terrible habit, and it prevents us from getting what we want in life. Another habit that I used to suffer from is the mobile phone. Our mobile phones and technology have become such an essential part of our daily lives. It's excessive use of these mobile phones that really kind of ruins things. How many times have you been out to a restaurant and seen the parents each on a mobile phone? Sometimes you see the parents and each of the kids all on mobile phones. Nobody's talking. That just drives me nuts. How can you keep relationships active with your family if you're all staring at the screen, the mini screen all the time, the cell phone? Cell phones are important, and they really can enhance your life and bring amazing things. They are an effective communication device. I know people need them for work and things like that. I'm not saying throw your cell phone away, but learn when to use the cell phone. Using it at the dinner table, not appropriate. In my house, when we come into the home, the cell phones get put into a box. When you walk in the front door at my house, there's a box, and that's where the cell phones go. Dad gets to keep his cell phone, and so does Mom. If we know that we have some communication that's going to be needed, maybe an important phone call that's coming, but then the phone goes on vibrate. You don't need some cell phone ringing and interrupting your family time. It's an unnecessary distraction. You go out to dinner, that's your time. Why are you bringing a cell phone? When I go out to eat at dinner and I'm with my family, you would think that I was functionally illiterate. That's my time. I'm not there to talk to everybody and be on my cell phone and engage with, 1,000 different people on text messages, and people can't just call me when I'm out with my family. That's my time with them. That's my time. And that's your time. Spend time with your wife or your spouse and your kids and talk. You remember people used to talk and communicate. It's how we build effective relationships with our families and bring good things into our lives. I'm going to tell you a little magic that I know for a fact. The better you are to your spouse and children, the more good things come into your life. It works like magic. I don't understand it. I don't know why it works so well, but it seems like the more time I spend and the better I am to my spouse and my children, amazing, good things just come into my life. It's like opening a door to goodness. I don't know what it is, but it is just wonderful. So, engage in activities that don't require technology and take a break from your cell phone. I'm going to make a recommendation here, and I know this won't work for everybody, and I know cell phones are essential to a lot of people, and I'm not trying to be tough on you. Try to turn the cell phone off an hour before you go to bed at night, and don't turn the cell phone on for an hour until after an hour when you've woke up in the morning. So at night, when you have to read your goal card right before you go to bed, right? So you've already had plenty of time with the cell phone off to calm down, relax. You're not watching video shorts that are going to keep you up till 2 in the morning. You're letting your mind calm down. Maybe you've come to my YouTube channel and you're listening to some ocean waves or one of the other calming videos that we've placed on the channel. Or, when you wake up in the morning, you're reading your goal card, you're preparing for the day, you probably have to get up, brush your teeth, take a shower and all that. So wait an hour before you turn your cell phone on in the morning. I know most people get up with plenty of time to spare. You have time to get up in the morning and get a lot of things done that you need to get done before you need to turn that cell phone on. And I tell you what, it'll make a huge difference in your life. Just give it a shot. Try it out. It's going to work for you, and it's going to be amazing. Another habit that I think I used to suffer from was waiting for perfect conditions. You're like, well, we wanted to start another business, and I remember doing this a couple of times, but the kids are in school. We have some things going on with other businesses. It's just not the right time to start another business. And I used to suffer from that all the time. You want to know something? The perfect time never came. So what I started doing is just moving forward. Hey, you know what? It's never going to be a perfect time to start another business. Let's just do it. And I just move forward, and we own a lot of businesses. And if I waited for the perfect conditions, I'd probably own one or two, and that would be about it. We have to learn to take action towards our goals. And we're reading the goal card. That's going to change things up here. But do not allow yourself to wait to take action. When you feel like it's time, you've changed the programming, circumstances are coming around, even when they're not perfect, move forward. Do what you can do to make your goals a reality. So we don't wait for perfect conditions in this house. I recommend that you don't either. The perfect conditions never seem to arise, and they always delay our progress. Another habit that I think has become just a part of our day-to-day workings is half focus, because everybody's multitasking. I recommend focusing on one thing, getting it done, then move to the next task. Get that done. I normally will have a list of 6. 6 things I know I need to get done, and that list, once I get done with that list of 6, I may have more things I need to do, and I'll create another list. But have a list of 6. Do 1. Then as soon as 1 is done, leave it alone, let it go, push it aside, do 2. When 2's done, push it aside, then we focus on 3. But we're always focusing on at one independent task and doing the best we can at that task. Regardless of how many things we have to do, make a list, do things one at a time, and you're going to be amazed at how much time you have when you focus on things. When we multitask, it distracts the mind, it confuses the supercomputer. When we focus on one thing, it makes this supercomputer work towards our benefit. We think better, we have better ideas, we think faster when we're just focusing on one thing. You get more done. Trust me. Give it a shot. It's a habit that's easy to break by just creating a list of 6. Get those 6 things done one at a time, then move on to your next list. You'll be surprised at how much more time you have as a result. Another habit that I used to suffer from is procrastination. And we all have heard our grandparents or our mom and dad say, why wait till tomorrow what you can get done today? They were absolutely correct in stating that. It's just kind of like waiting for the perfect conditions. The perfect conditions never come along, all right? And if you don't have the perfect condition, fortune and success favor those who go out and create the conditions that they can't find in their day-to-day. And that's what we're doing with the goal card. We're changing things. We're changing our thinking. Procrastination. When we procrastinate and put things off until tomorrow, you'd be surprised how easy it is to just keep pushing things off. And many of us procrastinate. Procrastination will definitely prevent you from achieving your goals. You'll never live up to your full potential if you keep pushing things off. We're doers, right? We're active. We're successful. We're engagers. We're winners. And as winners, we go out and get it done. We're not waiting for tomorrow. We're going to do it today. We're going to do that today, and we're going to do a bunch of other things. They're all going to help us to be successful, because you know what? Tomorrow, I got a whole bunch of things I want to get done then, just like you. We're going to be so successful, we're not going to have time to push things off. And I think when we read that goal card, this supercomputer is not going to let you push things off. You're going to find that you no longer procrastinate. You move forward on your ideas. You take chances. But, be cognizant of pushing things off or waiting. Hey, I'll do that later this afternoon. No, do it now. Get it done. You're going to be surprised at how much clearer your supercomputer is and how much happier you are when you just engage in things and just get them done now. Just get it over with. Get it out of the way. Just move forward. You can do it. I know you can. I believe in you. And you're going to find that when you don't procrastinate, initially, you may have to force yourself to move forward. But as with any goal, start walking towards that destination. If you are going to push something off and procrastinate, my recommendation is just start doing it anyway. I think you're going to find that it'll be done before you thought it could be. And you're going to be so much happier to have that out of the way so you can focus your time and energy on new things. And those new things are what's going to bring that success that you're looking for into your life. Another thing that we don't do in our house, and this is my last habit that I used to suffer from, is complaining. Complaining is that I don't deal with complaining. When somebody comes to me with a bunch of complaints, what do? I, in the most polite and kindest way possible, excuse myself from that situation. I go take a deep breath. I read my goal card. See, I always have one. Always have a goal card. I always do. So I walk away, I read my goal card. I am so happy and grateful now that, and after the word that is the goal that I'm working on at that point in time. And I'll read that over 10, 15, 20 times. You never know. I may need more goal readings sometimes than others. I've sat there and read a goal over for what probably was 100 to 150 times, but I needed to change my mindset. When I'm kind of an emotional person, and people come at me with different things, and complaining is one thing that kind of makes me a little bit upset. I don't have any time to sit around and talk with somebody about how things can't be done. I want to sit around and talk with people about how things can be done. That's what I want to talk about. That's all I'm focused on all day. How can we do this? How can we do that? I don't care why it can't be done. Let's talk about why it can be done. And here's why. When you talk about why things can be done, you get can be done results. And you get solutions. When you sit around and talk about why we can't do this, why we can't accomplish that, what happens? You don't do anything because you've just convinced yourself or talked yourself out of whatever it is that you wanted. But you sit around and just talk about can do things, and it'll change everything. I want to tell you a quick story here. There was a lady that I know, and her husband owned an engineering firm. And it wasn't a big three engineering firm, but it wasn't a mom and pop store either. And her husband passed away. And everybody thought once he passed away that she would sell the business. But she didn't have any plans to sell the business. And she went in with the board of directors and she asked, what's working, what's not working? And they gave her a rundown of everything that was working in the organization at the time. And they gave her a list of things that they were having trouble with and that, they couldn't make work, or hey, we're having financial issues in this part of our organization, or we need resources over here. And she had them she said, okay, in these board meetings moving forward, I don't want to talk anymore about what can't be done or what problems we have. I only want to talk about positive things and solutions. And you would think, hey, for a $10 million a year engineering firm, they probably have all these metrics they're working from and diagrams and graphs. No, they didn't. This lady was simple. She wasn't a business major. She didn't have a college degree, but she had been around the business for years because she had been married. I think they were married for 30, 40 years. So she had been around the engineering firm for a while, knew the people and knew the circumstances of the organization as a spouse. And she said, I had talked with her and worked with her a little bit. And so, you know me, the positive and negative list. Well, she went in and said, I don't want to talk about the negatives. I want to talk about the positives. What is working in this organization? How can we make more money? How can we get more business? How can we get the resources we need? So they just started going into these meetings and only talking about the positive, about how can things be done. Do you know she took their annual revenue from $10 million to $25 million a year? They're still in business. They're doing extremely well. And she's not as involved as she once was because those in the organization have taken her lead. They've taken a more positive approach towards business. They're talking about how things can be done. They're not sitting around creating lists or having meetings about why things can't be done and, oh, poor us and all these other things. They're talking positively. How can we increase business? How can we make more revenue? How can we promote more of our employees? How can we do more training internally within the organization? How can we get better? When they started focusing on that, revenue went through the roof. Employee happiness went through the roof. She's probably one of the greatest CEOs I've ever met. Doesn't have a college degree. She was just a housewife at the time before her husband passed. She still owns the business and they're doing amazing things. I'm so proud of her. This works. If you use the principles and the ideas that I'm presenting to you, they work. So back to complaining. We do not complain. I don't deal with complaining. Instead of complaining, I think we need to focus on finding solutions to our problems and taking ownership over our lives. That by adopting a positive mindset, we can overcome anything. When you think in positive, when you think as a positive individual, you get positive results. When you think negatively, you get negative results. You can't win thinking negatively. You cannot win thinking about how things can't be done. You can win every single time by thinking positively and focusing on solutions and thinking how things can be done. I believe in you. I think that these things that we've covered are crucial if we want to be our best selves. And if we recognize each of these individual behaviors and take action to change them, we can unlock our full potential and live fulfilling lives. I'm telling you, these are things that we all suffer from, that we can approach each of these and resolve them and remove these bad habits from our lives. and we keep reading that goal card, and we micro focus this computer, and we get it working on our goal, and we get focusing towards that goal. And I tell you what, things are going to be amazing for you. I believe in you, and I know that everything is going to go extremely well. I know that most of you probably have gotten your book, Think and Grow Rich. Go ahead and read that book. Read it through once, then read it through a second time. I keep saying this, but it's true. When you read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill through the second time, you're not going to find something in the book that wasn't there before. You're going to find something in yourself that wasn't there before. I got 2 more books I'm going to review with you, and they're going to help you to make some additional changes. Remember, if you want to change your life, you got to change your life. Go to work. When you go to work, if you drive to work in the morning, take a different route. If you normally shop at the same grocery store, shop somewhere else. If you have the habit of going out and having cocktails with friends after work, think about going home and reading a book or doing something with family. If you go home usually at night after work and watch TV, think about turning the TV off and doing something more productive with your time, something that's going to build you up. Because we want to build this up. We're the CEO of our lives, and we deserve to have a little investment in ourselves, right? We deserve to have better things. You deserve to have better things. You deserve everything it is you want in this life. You only get one shot. We're not, as far as we know, we don't get a second bite at the apple, okay? So we want to, and I know that I was the longest clinically documented death case in America back in the early 90s, and I got to tell you, it micro-focused me. It made me realize I'm not going to be here forever. If I better use this life to its fullest potential right now, get what I want out of this life, because I wasn't supposed to live past the age of 30. So I had from the age of 16 to 30. I thought if I only have 14 years, boy, I better shoot for the moon. You know what shooting for the moon got me? It got me a lot. And I tell you what, if you just sit back and wait for things to happen, they don't. But if you go out there and live your life like you can't fail, and you know what you want because you're reading your goal card every day, and you've got a focused goal that you're working towards, now you got a destination. Now things start changing for you. It's just going to be so amazing. I promise you're going to get some amazing results, and I'm looking forward to hearing about them. I hope you have a wonderful day, my friends. I'll be here tomorrow. I'll be here every day. We're doing 30 videos in 30 days. I can't wait to talk to you tomorrow. Take care.